Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Mixed Mowers and Mower Man. Hope you're doing well. In today's video we're going to be taking a look at that John Deere lawnmower, the one I picked up last year in the job lot. The one that started but smoked like an old steam train. That's what we're doing today. As I say, last time it all smoked and what have you. It did run and it ran quite well. So I don't know whether it's just been tipped up, overfilled, or don't have no idea. But I want to get it back out this year, try and get it fired up and then get it onto the bench, fully serviced. Blade sharp and balanced, new pull cord because the pull cord's very, very sticky from what I remember. New air filter, oil change, blade sharp, and all that sort of good stuff. Get it done and get it up for sale this year. It should fetch a pretty penny. If this is your first time watching Mixed Mowers and Mower Man, hit the old subscribe button, whack the old bell, set your notifications to all. That way you'll be told next time I upload another video. So without further ado, let's get down and dirty. Let's try and get this John Deere lawnmower to start run, get it fully serviced, and get it sold. Okay, so up on the bench is this little tiny John Deere. It's got a security tag on there by the looks of it, so it would have belonged to someone at some point. But this was pulled out of a reclaimed site anyway, because it no longer ran. And in the last video, as I did actually get it running. And I find a date on there, 2009 machine, so it's not a million years old, but it ain't that young. First thing I want to do is remove the pull cord assembly, because that's the first thing that's actually failing on this machine is a recoil. It's just not doing what it should do. And I'm trying to identify where I put my impact gun, because I have had a plethora of tools out over the past couple of weeks whilst I've been away doing bits and pieces. And that's purely because I've been busy on the Atcos. Busy. So we're going to take off this recoil assembly first. I will be putting a new pull cord on here anyway. Not been that frequent since I've worked on a Kawasaki, to be fair. They don't often frequent my shop, but they do turn up now and again. Let's get a magnet tray in as well, just so I can have a bit more space and more tools. Right, so pull cord's coming off. I dare say it's just a little bit gunked up, and you just see how it's slow to respond, and that can be very, very simply fixed just with a little bit of spray, just to clean the areas up. Let that soak. I'll just put some maintenance lube in there as well, and look, straight away, look, it recoils back lovely already. So just a little bit of gunk, we just fix that. That's all it is. Nothing super duper. So I'll put a new pull cord on that at my leisure. They're quite straightforward to do. All you got to do is pull the pull cord all the way out, like so. Put a screwdriver down in the gap just to hold it. Take the string out, put a new one in. Bish bash bosh. That's done. That's easy enough. Anyone can do that. That's no problem at all. Right, new pull cord's now been threaded. I should refit it later on, but a brand new pull cord's now gone on, so that's good. That's just going to soak a little bit of maintenance lube just to keep it nice and supple. In here somewhere is an air filter. On this one here you've got a little tiny slide device which slides back like so. One on the other side. Yeah. And I think just get hold of it and lift. There you go. Lift that up. And here's your air filter. It doesn't look shocking for what it is. Right, new air filter. I just found it as in I put it away in a drawer. So brand spanking new air filter for this. I think that was around about £9, something like that. It's got a little pre-filter here as well, which is absolutely lovely. Not even going to bother touching that. Going to leave that well alone, if I can even get in the bag to begin with. So brand new air filter there, nice. That fit in there. Look at that, that's lush. So brand new air filter goes in. But the main problem we're having with this machine is it ain't even starting. So I'm going to remove the plug, see what sort of plug we've got in there. Looks like an NGK in there, I'll say, which is the right one for it. Let's remove plug. see what that looks like. See if that requires a bit of a happy birthday or not. Now, lots of people don't renew the plugs, just give me a good clean up, which is fine. If I'm just flipping machines, that's okay, but what I generally do is I'm selling a machine as fully serviced, I'll put a new plug in. This plug is well oily and smells absolutely reeks of stale fuel. But that'll probably be a good plug. So I'm going to put a by just to one side, and we're going to put in there a brand new BPR6ES overhead valve NGK plug, which I should have an abundance of because someone very kindly bought some for me off of my old Amazonian wish list. In my next video I've got to do some bit of bought some stuff actually to do a thank you video. So I've got a brand new plug there, BPR6ES. That can go in hole. Right, brand new plug's now gone in. Now what I want to do, I want to try and remove this carburetor off of here. I would like to do it without removing all of this air ducting if I can get away with it in tank, because that's all sort of one piece. So I would like to try and get away with it if I can, but I dare say it ain't going to like it. So a nice big long bolt there, slide him out. Another one there, lovely. Now just take a little mental note of what's going on with the front of the carburetor, just so you can see. You've got an insulation block there, carburetor, and you've got your main throttle there, which is all fine, and you've got your choke one there as well, which is all fine as well. So you've only got two pipes on here, but look what I have just found. Let me show you. Can you see in there? I don't know if you can. Look, there's a little tiny spring just here. See that little spring? That little spring, it lives up on here. That little spring has actually come off. So, the little governor spring that sits on there, that's come off. And that could be a contributing factor to why this machine was thrown away in the first place. A little tiny spring like that will affect the running of this machine in untold. So I'm going to try now, if I can. I don't think I can. I'm going to take the whole lot apart. It may come off. We shall see. Let it come off of there, Mick. It'd be nice if it does. I think someone used some gasket goo. I don't know. We'll see. Right. So now, what I'm hoping to do, I've got to remove the fuel line around the side here. I'll take all the fuel out of this machine because the fuel will be all stale and yucky. I've got a fuel line to remove. Get in there with that. Just squeeze that up. Take that fuel line down out of the way. And get myself a jug ready, just so I can take that fuel lead off. Well, I've got myself a little jug around the side here, so when I remove the fuel pipe, I can then dispose of the fuel straight away. Is that going to come off, Mick? Just thinking about it. Oh, there it goes. Right, that's the fuel. I'm going to turn the tap on in a minute. Turn to tap on. There you go. Right, tap's on. And now we can now start to drain all this yucky fuel out of this machine. Let me get that done. I dare say there'll be a bit of water in there as well. So let me get it all drained out. I'll be back to you in 2 ticks. Okay, so the fuel actually wasn't shocking bad, but there's a little bit of something in there. Can you see that? A little bit of water, moisture in there. There's a very small amount just floating about. So that's not externally good, but as I say, this machine was bought from a tip, so that might have something to do with it. Now the fuel line's been disconnected. Now I can try and disconnect this carburetor by lifting the front of the carby off of these linkages, and out it comes, and you can see that's where the little tiny spring needs to go that was missing off the top of this throttle earlier on. So just double checking how the throttle's working, which it is, and the choke's also working as well, so that's good. So this is a manual choking machine, so that's all working, that's good. Let's get this over onto the bench. Quick little clean off first on the extremities, just to clean it all off, and then put it onto the bench, open this carburetor up, see what it's doing, and hopefully we can get this carburetor nice and clean, which will then aid this machine to run. Right, here we go then. So, got a nice little carburetor here to clean. I'm guessing it needs cleaning because the machine wasn't starting, right? And there's a bit of water in that carburetor as well. So here's a little carby. Nice little Walbro carb. Nice, nice. We're just going to crack the bottom. See what comes out of there. Tip it onto its side slightly, because we want to inspect to see what the bowl looks like. A bit of a tap with my special carburetor hammer. There it goes. Remove that, and the oven will come off as well. And as you can see in there, there's a little tiny bit of water in there as well. See that water? Are you seeing that? It's a little tiny bit of water. There it is, just there. But the bowl's in really good condition. Really good nick. That's good. That will probably need pressing out, that little tiny pin. They often do on these little Walbros. They're not the easiest to remove the pin, the float pins. There it goes. Lovely. One float pin, one float and needle with a rubber seat, which tells me it's got a brass seat inside here. Have a little mochi, yeah, little brass seat in there. Good. Want a screwdriver now to remove that. Now, I do remember somebody buying me a carburetor screwdriver, which might fit that one. It's a slightly different size. Is that going to fit that or not? No, it's going to be too big. It's going to be too big, baby. Let's try that one. It's actually a Briggs tool. And that too big as well. So okay, so that's not it. So I must use my homemade jobby. But I've got a feeling my electrician screwdriver will actually probably benefit me more. It's got a slightly wider shaft on the screwdriver itself. This one here. It's one of my favourite ones. That's going to work for me. Very gentle with this because they're only brass. Oh, that's not got it. That's got him. I got him that time. I felt it click. So we're going to remove that. Come on, baby, out you come. Don't fight me. Quite a wide screwdriver hole on these Walbro ones. You don't want to damage the threads at the same time. It's a problem. There you go. She's coming out. What I like about these Walbros, you can screw them all the way out. You see, and then the jet comes out with none of that mucking about. So also inside here you'll have an emulsion tube sitting down in the depths, which I'm hoping to get out as well. That should just ping out. There you go. So that's the emulsion tube out. Let's just inspect that main jet very quickly. There's a lovely big hole in there, absolutely lovely big hole. And this all looks really, really clean. So it tells me that I don't think the issue was actually with the carb, it may be just with water in the fuel system, possibly. There's no slow idle jet to worry about. There's a little mixture screw just here, but we're going to leave that be for now. So all I'm going to do is open the throttle up. Give it a darn good clean inside through all the orifices it needs to, just to make sure that this carby is running as it should. So anywhere where there's a hole, you want to be getting in there with your cleaning fluid and making sure that's all clean. That's a nice one to get hold of. That just cleans the carb right out in the middle. So see that? That's one you want. Good. So that all looks actually really, really good. Keep it of dirt in here. And then there's a little tiny hole. Open that throttle up. There's a little tiny hole just where this air mixer jet is, which is located just here. There's 3 dots just in there. Okay, now you're not going to get in there with your tools. So what I recommend is get yourself one of the old WD-40 straws and put a little tiny 45-degree angle into it, which I have. And then you can squirt some stuff straight up in there. So let me go and grab my 45-degree angle straw. Scattered everywhere. If Bruce was coming to my workshop now, he'd be disgusted with me. It's as simple as that. I understand that. I've got a nice little 45-degree angle straw. So I'll just heat up with a lighter, just bend it ever so slightly, and then that way you can put that in, and then you can get right up in those 3 little tiny holes I'm talking about. You'll see them right up inside the carb, right up inside there, and you have a good clean out. That's good. Now you can remove this simply by just heating this up, and it's just like a little wax on there. Heat it up, and that just fall off. But it's best left alone. Quick clean and a quick compress off. Just be very careful when you're compressing. You don't blow no seals out if it's got any. We're literally just having a good clean all round. All the holes I was visiting earlier on, big lump of stuff has come out then. So as always, the air compressor cuts in when you're talking. I just squirted through here and a big lump of dirt came out. That's good. So what I'll do now is put my my needle and float back onto my carby. That's good. Get my little tiny pin. Just gonna loosely fit that for now. Now they're only going one way. It's sort of tapered. So don't be frightened if it don't go in one hole. Just try and put it in the other. And that wants a little tiny tap. It's sort of tapered, that is. Don't go mad. Okay. With that in place, quick little clean off as well, because there was a little bit of dirt introduced then. So tip it up onto its side. Quick little one of them. Now, I hold a carby, just dry it off a touch. I'm going to grab my my leak by tester, which is my old mate Hank, my old mucker, my old friend. He bought me this. I have not put it down since he bought me it. It's a brilliant device. Do that up, and then just pump away to about 5 or 6 psi. Hold the carb up nice and level, and you'll be able to see if that carburetor is actually letting by or not. At the moment it is. Yeah, okay, so this carburetor is actually letting by. It's dropping. Okay, let me pump it up a bit more, and you'll see. So that means the seat is not sealed. If I hold the float down, it holds no problem at all. So yeah, so that's letting by. So that ain't no good to no one. So I need to take that off, and then need to remove this this pin again. Take that out. And I want to then give this little tiny needle a little bit of a clean, and also inside here as well. So I have seen people use wet and dry paper, which is a fantastic idea. A little bit like glass paper. Just go very, very gentle, because it only wants a microscopic piece of, like grain on there, and that will stop that from working. Okay. There's also a tiny little rub, just to make sure you've got no debris on there. Put it to one side so it's clean. And I want to get myself a Q-tip. You can put them on a drill, but sometimes they don't fit. So we have to take a bit of the cotton off. But once you get them to go in, you can then just clean that seat up just a touch. Let's try that. And all you do is just cleaning that seat up. That's good. That's really cleaning it now. Because it's a bright little brass seat in there, you can really get it clean. So yeah, that looks good. We like that. So now I'm gonna get my clean needle, which has been sat to one side, and do the process again. Stick it in. That leak by test has saved my life more times than I care to remember at the moment. It's a good little bit of kit, that is. It just says having the carburetor on and off, 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 you know. I'll grab your tester. Hook him up. Make sure it's all the way on so you get no air leaks. Make sure it's done nice and tight yet. And hey, bingo bango, she's now holding. go. I'm going to do it without mucking about, but you should see that holding now. That shouldn't be dropping. It might move as I turn it round, but there you go. She's now a drop a bit, did it, as I moved it. But if I hold the carburetor still up to about 5 psi, it holds. Release it. Holding. Yeah, if you just move the carburetor slightly, it will drop because you're moving the carburetor, but obviously that carburetor's going to be upside down, and then the fuel's going to push on that. So that's holding. I'm happy with that. That can come off. That's a fantastic bit of kit, that is. Next, just want to clean this tube up. This emulsion tube's already pretty clean. There's nothing in there that was going to cause me any issues at all. So I'm quite happy with that. Just blocking the holes up to make sure all the holes all run. Yeah, happy with that. So that little tube can go in, little tiny narrow bit goes in first. And then the main jet itself, that looked really good to me, to be honest. Yeah, it's free as a bird. That's lush. Right, that can go back in. So now I'm just going to put the jet back in, put the bowl back on, and then I'll make you back over by the lawnmower. Right, back over on the lawnmower now, and all you've got to remember is which one is the choke and which is a throttle. If you put it that the fuel goes in this side as it does, so that will then tell you that's your choke on the front, and that's your throttle. So all we know what you want to do is hook up. Hold on, Mr. Fuel Pipe. There's just a bit of residual fuel in there. Hook up your choke first. That'll go on this little tiny hole just here. So slide it in, hook your choke up, and then hook your throttle up. That's what go on as well. So it's a bit of a double pincer movement, but you want to also hook up this little tiny spring. That's got to go in that hole as well. Okay, so it pays to put the spring in first, so that's got the home to live in, and then put your throttle on. That's squeezing alongside it. He says. Not a lot of room there. It will go. It goes. So now you've got the spring in and the throttle in the same hole. Okay. Then hook your choke up. So it's a bit of a double pincer movement. Once that's all on, you can then put all your bolts back in. Okay. So much easier than Honda. So much easier. A really good design. So now I can put these bolts in. Now the only downside to this is knowing that your machine is actually choking because you've got this guard in the way. You can remove that, but what you can also do is just have your carburetor in place very slightly, put the machine onto choke, get it all the way up. As far back as it'll go, and have a quick little look, and you can see down here your machine's actually on choke, so that's how you know that. Okay. Put your bolt in, as I say. There's the first one, and then there's the second one. Now, this machine I picked up from my bloke who I get my mowers from, and I was so pleased to pick this one up. I didn't think this would be part of a job lot, but it was. That's going in. Marry his brother up. Not too tight, just crimp them up. Right, now I have purposely left some fuel in this tank, just a little tiny bit. I flushed it out, left a little bit of fuel in there, so now I can just turn this tap on, make sure the fuel's working. So off is level, going left to right, and then up and down is on. Okay, so up and down is on, just remember that and you won't go far wrong. Let me get this fuel hose hooked up and I'll come back to you. Right, so now I'm going to turn the fuel on, which is up and down on this machine, just so we know. And then leave that be, just want to test for any leakages or anything coming through that perhaps shouldn't be, okay? But as by the leak by tester on the device, it says I had no leak, so that's good. So happy with that. I've done the pull cord, I've done the air filter, I've done the carburetor, I've done the spark plug. All it's going to have to do is to turn the machine around, and we're going to take the oil out of this machine, inspect that, and then fill it up with brand new, fresh, lovely oil. Okay, so to remove the oil on this little puppy, do you know what? It's actually a pleasure to work on a machine. It actually tells you what to do, which is brilliant. So here's your oil filler. Okay, and it's got all the instructions you need on the dipstick. How good is that? So it simply says here, for correct oil level, do not turn cap onto the thread. So it's just dip and test, and oil to be used at SEA 30 or 10W30. Okay, so that's good. So we know exactly what oil to use. We know how to test as well, which is brilliant. That's going to go into there. I'm just going to extract this oil out of here. That's very, very brown in colour. Doesn't look particularly good. Try and get some oil out if we can. I like to transfer over to a slightly different nozzle. It might be a bit too big to go into there. We shall see. It's not tend to be doing sucking a lot really. Let's bring it down here a bit so we can't encourage it to come out. No, not having it. So I'll get a slightly different filler onto that. That's no drama. I've got some spare. Empty it out and then refill it up, and we get done in 2 ticks. Okay, oil is now all out. In the end, I've managed to get my big thick hose down in there to sort it, because the smaller one we took an absolute age. So I'm going to start off with 400ml of SEA 30. That's going to go in. I'm going to see where 400ml sits with it. I always like to video when I'm doing repairs and service work, because if you ever have a problem with a machine, you can always just refer them back to a video to prove you've actually done the job, you know. So 400ml is going to go in. It'll probably take about 500, something like that. We all normally do. But start with less, and you can always add more if need be. It was overdue an oil change anyway, because it could quite clearly see that. So in that all goes, lovely. Get it all in. I'll just glue this little sticker down as well. That sticker's just annoying me, so that'll be stuck down. So in goes all the oil. Just want to give that a second just to run down into the machine. This is an aluminium deck as well, so no problems with rust there. I dare say it's probably been used commercially at some point. These sort of machines generally are. But it ran before, so hopefully we're not flogging a dead horse here. It was made, assembled in the US of A. I expect my mate Ken assembled it. Let's just dip test it, see how we're doing. So it says we're right on the add line, so it wants about another 150ml. Okay, so we can do that. Let's put another 150ml into the old jug. That's 150ml there. And it should run so much better having an oil change. So it's on the minimum line at the moment. So I'm going to put in about that much to begin with. It's sort of about another 100ml there, about another 50ml there. As I say, do it in bits. And let me top it off to the right level. It should be around about 500ml, I'd say. That's just over the half mark. So yeah, it's going to take all of that. It's quite a big old engine, this is. It's going to take all of that, I'd say, to make it happy. There we go. Let's give that a second just to run down. So far, new pull cord, new spark plug, new air filter, carburetor cleaned, oil change. I will do the blade sharpening later on if the machine proves to be trustworthy and what have you. No point in just sharpening the blade for the sake of it. I like the machine to actually run nice. Let's have a little look. Yes, just about on the maximum, just about. I might have to add another little smidgen a bit later on, but it's pretty much there. So, right, that's that bit done. Right, so now what's left to do is to put the front cover back on. So we'll be coming back to do a blade sharpen and balance as long as the machine turns out to be reliable, because there's nothing saying it actually is as of yet. Push those clips forward, that holds the air filter in place, and then you've got your nice little John Deere logo up here, pull cord assembly. 4 10mm bolts, we'll see that secured. No big drama. As I say, I'll come back and do the blade if the machine runs and pass its test. Most of my tests that I do on my machines, they all have to start and stop from hot and cold. So it's done over 2 days. And then also the machine has to run for 20 minutes, which is nearly a full tank of juice, give or take. Full tank of juice without any problems. And then after that, anything that comes up within that 20 minutes I can then work on and diagnose. But it doesn't throw any faults up. That's about the best you can do for someone that's actually flipping a machine, is to run them from hot and cold, come out the next day and try and start it next day as well, make sure it all runs, and go from there. Quick slurp of coffee. Now the only repair I've got to do to this machine is over here, which is a grass flap is slightly broken just there. All it is just goes over there, and all I'm going to do with that is plastic weld it and then just get a little tiny piece of aluminium plating and pop rivet that back together. That's all it needs just to make that work, but that's the only thing that's actually broken on this machine. Apart from that, cables will be oiled, all that sort of stuff, but I'm pretty happy with it so far. It did run last year, but will it run this year? I'll meet you outside and we'll find out. Right, pull cord, see what happens. Okay, so one John Deere lawnmower now all up and running. I have adjusted the carburetor ever so slightly just on that spring, and it now idles. It doesn't run as well as I would like. With a brand new plug, new air filter and what have it, it's still got a few little tiny misses in there. For Kawasaki, it should run a little bit better than that. I might have to investigate maybe the valves at some point, but it's not starting hard at all. I've just finished cutting my grass with it, or 3/4 of my lawn with it. It did not miss a beat. The rotor clutch all worked, the drive all worked, didn't overheat, didn't smoke, didn't stop, didn't do anything other than what it should do. So I might just bung it out for cheap. I've got a sneaky feeling this machine might have done quite a few hours on it Definitely a commercial grade machine. I've got a feeling that, yeah, it's done a few hours. 2009, so it's knocking it on already, but it starts and stops as it should do. So just got to pass its final test tomorrow morning, a cold start outside, start it up and cold, run it for 15-20 minutes, and we're good to go. So as far as I'm concerned, the lawnmower is up and running as it should do. To the best of my ability. That's pretty much what I can do. So that's good. I have repaired the grass box, just put 2 little tiny rivets in there and just with a bit of metal plate, sprayed it black just so that grass box flap is not broken no more. That's all now done. So new spark plug, new pull cord, all change, new air filter, grass box now all fitted, blade sharpener and balance too. It cuts, it stripes, it drives, it does everything it should do. Just got a little tiny bit of a mist to it as well. No rod knock, nothing like that. It's just, you know, it may just be a little bit warm, but hey ho, it may do someone a season. And for a machine like that, it should fetch a couple of £100, and even so, that is still quite cheap as well for what it do go for. So either way, I'm super happy. If this is your first time watching Mixed Mowers and Man, hit your subscribe button and whack the old bell. It's free to do so. Set notifications to all. That way you'll be told next time I upload a video. I look forward to the next episode of Mixed Mowers very soon. But until people, don't forget, much more importantly, take it easy.